mind. This show is for the faithful.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Dub Nation.
Turn! Steph Curry again!
And the seam heads that bleed orange and black.
Goodbye!
This is Sportsphone KNBR. Sponsored by Industrial Metal Supply on the Sports Leader. Check the live stream on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
Possible tying on its second. Freeman, the runner at first. The right-handed hitter Smith stands in. Ground ball to third. Glove cleanly by Chapman. The second one to first. Two! A double play! And the ball game is over. Just like that. Camilo Doval makes short work of a guy who's been tremendous in the clutch this year. And Will Smith hits the ground ball to Matt Chapman. And Chapman, it was a tough hop, sort of a high hop toward his midsection. He played it cleanly and turned it into the game-ending double play.
Welcome into a Friday Sports Phone KNBR with Bill Laskey as the Giants win a game at Oracle Park. And Giants fans, with the weekend series against Los Angeles, how do you start a Friday when you beat them? And the Giants held on to an 8-7 win. They scored 8 runs in the first 5 innings, and the bullpen held on as Rodriguez, Rogers, and Duvall hold up, and they get the win for Logan Webb, who had a tough night. He only went 5 1/3 innings, got in a lot of trouble in that 6th inning, but he ended up getting the win, and I think that just shows the spirit of this team. A game where he wasn't on in that 6th, but he still gets the win. He's 9-6 going into the All-Star break with an earned run average under 3, and I think he'll be happy with that. But a lot of the offense, that's what happened with the Giants today in those first 5 innings. A home run by Adames in the 2nd inning. Since June 10th, Willie Adames is hitting over 310 with 14 extra base hits, 8 home runs, and 24 runs. We've been waiting for this, Giants fans. We've been waiting for Willie Adames to get settled in, see how his swing's going. But he looked pretty today with those swings he was putting on the ball today, especially that home run ball in the 2nd, and then he hit that triple in the 5th. So you start looking at what happened in this game, and it was really the offense that took this game over. They got to Dustin May for 7 earned runs, and Anthony Bondell came in. They got touched up on him. But after that, the bullpen for the Dodgers kind of stymied the Giants. They only had a couple hits and a walk, and nothing happened after the 5th inning, and I think that's a concern when you have a lead like this, and they chipped away. The Dodgers are one of the best teams in comeback wins. They have 34 comeback wins this year, and they put it on them. And the Duvall in the 9th inning had to work out it with 1st and 2nd and 1 out, and Will Smith hit into the 5-4-3 double play. And Oracle Park was on their feet as Giants fans, as well as the Giants players themselves, get the first win of a 3-game series before the All-Star break happens. So it's going to be a good 2-game series left. Tonight was just a lot of spirited of 2 teams going at each other. When you look at the Dodgers, the best team batting average against the Giants with the best earned run average from a pitching side, and the Giants prevailed today. 415-808-KNBR. Love to hear your thoughts on this first game, as the Giants have now won the first game, and the Dodgers have now lost 7 straight games. They got swept by the Astros. They went to Milwaukee, got swept by the Brewers, and tonight they lose the first game. First time they've lost 7 games since 2017. So, you know what? Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Make it 9 if we can sweep the Dodgers. But when you start looking at this Giants team, July 4th, you can remember that day, a nice long weekend. There were 9 games out of first place. Here it is, July 11th, and they're 4 games out of first place. A team that's been battling, a team that's got healthy with Chapman and Schmidt, and a bullpen that's staying solid. And this is what we have to continue to keep looking at. The consistency out of these guys coming out of the bullpen have held this team. When you're looking at 94 games out of 162, the bullpen is number 1, and they're continuing to keep that earned run average under 3, which is unbelievable when you're looking at 94 games. But this is what they're doing, and this is how the Giants are winning, getting leads. And today, I was scratching my head when Logan Webb went out there in the 6th inning. He was probably saying, when did I ever have an 8-2 lead? I think that was one of the problems. He probably didn't know what the hell to do with it. But he ended up getting a win. He struggled a little bit. The 0-2 pitch to Mookie Betts probably was the pitch he was probably more mad at any of those pitches. A couple doubles and then the home run by Michael Conforto pushed him out of the game. Randy Rodriguez comes in, throws an inning and 2/3, giving up 3 hits, 1 earned run. Tyler Rogers once again. You know, here's a guy that should be at the All-Star game. Bob Melvin pushed him. They just didn't accept him. He goes 1-2-3 with just a little hit to left field. He ends up with a 1.59 earned run average. Rodriguez is now at a 0.89 earned run average. Just numbers for an all-star that I'm so glad Randy Rodriguez is going to Atlanta. And, of course, Camilo Duvall coming in, and I think all Giants fans were worried about it. I was when you saw the top of the line of Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Smith. He got out of it, and I think that's the confidence builder that Camilo Duvall needed as he gets his 15th save. So a good game, good first game of a 3-game series tomorrow. Of course, Landon Roop takes the hill. They did push Hayden Birdsong out of the rotation just for this 3-game series. He'll probably back up Landon Roop in a bullpen situation if that needed. And, of course, he's going against Shohei Ohtani. And Shohei Ohtani has not pitched much. He's only thrown 6 innings. Coming back from Tommy John, and they're just trying to take him slow, and they'll build him up for the second half. But it's going to be a good 2 more games, no question about that. And the Giants winning the first game, they won 2 series in a row. They beat the Athletics 2 out of 3, beat the Phillies 2 out of 3. They won 7 out of 9 games. So 105, first pitch tomorrow, Ohtani against Root. 415-808 KNBR. Jump on the phone lines. Let's talk Giants baseball on a Friday night with Bill Laskey. We'll be right back on the Sports Leader.
We want your reaction, so give us a ring or blow up the text line at 415-808-KNBR. This is Sportsphone KNBR, streaming live at twitch.tv/The Sports Leader.
The pitch. Lee swings, drives one out into right center field, hit well. Hernandez on the run, reaches up over his head and up against the bottom of the wall. Devers will score the tying run. Chapman around third. He'll score the go-ahead run. And Jung-Hoo Lee, speeding into third, has himself a stand-up triple.
All right, back on Sportsphone KNBR on a Friday night with Bill Laskey. A great call right there by Joe Rizzo as Jung-Hoo Lee hits a triple. And we got to thank Dustin May for walking Devers and Chapman. Two beautiful runs by walks. And it just opened the game up. And I think that's what all Giants fans were looking to see, if they could do something against the Dodgers. And they did. They had 8-2 runs, 8-2 lead after 5. But the Dodgers chipped away, and this team's tough. They're tough. I said it earlier, 34 comeback wins, the most of any team in Major League Baseball. But the Giants are playing very well at home. They're 28-17 at Oracle, 24-25 on the road. And in one-run games, out of 38 games, 38 one-run games, the Giants are 22-16. 4 games out in the National League West with 2 more left to go before the All-Star break. 415-808-KNBR. Let's get on a couple calls. Let's go out to Saratoga. Talk to my buddy Bob. Bob, you're on a Friday night sports phone. How are you this evening?
Hey, Bill, great win, but I'm afraid we're back to torture again, in terms of the late innings and the one runs.
Yeah, we've been doing that too much this year already.
Yeah. And I think I was a little too tough on our shortstop on the wearing all blue, because I didn't understand that the Giants made the decision to get some more colors in, which I think is a huge mistake after 100 years of orange and black. But anyway, it's
Bob, I'll just throw something to you. He was doing an NBC hit, and Richard really has said something to him about, hey, why are you wearing purple? Purple doesn't match. Yeah. He goes, you know what? I wear purple when we do the City Connects, and it's just I feel comfortable with it, and if I feel comfortable with it, I'm going to wear it. And Rich really goes, you keep hitting the way you are since June 10th, in which he's scalded a ball. You can wear whatever you want, and he has been hot, no question, Bob.
Yeah. I got one other thing, Bill. I think it's my imagination, but you would know. I think our outfielders need to play back a little bit, because 2 or 3 times tonight they hit the ball just over our head, and we almost caught the ball. And the center fielder and the left fielder, this happened a couple of times, but it doesn't happen to Yaz because he's a Golden Glove right fielder. Are
Bob,
they
put a
directing
lot
these
of
guys?
shifts on. Let me just throw this to you, Bob. They put a lot of shifts on where sometimes Yaz plays right center field, and they give him the whole right field line. Jung-Hoo Lee got caught on a couple balls where he was playing right center and the ball went to left center. The ball that the Will Smith ball, that ball was crushed to left center field. Couldn't get to it. And then the other ball off Hernandez, when it was off his glove, that was a tough ball. And then I thought he maybe ran too fast by the ball because it looked like it just kind of carried over. You know, Jung-Hoo Lee's been playing such a good center field, and so is Yaz. Ramos does play a shallow left field. I got you there. But when you're watching these games, Bob, they're changing direction of these outfielders all the time when we really don't know. It's all analytics. And that's what it really tells you how deep they play, where they play. But it's great you picking it up, and you're absolutely right. Sometimes they do play shallow.
Yeah, and it came so close to catching those. They could have been difference makers. And I realize he's almost a rookie, even though it's his second year because he was hurt last year. But he's still learning. But he is a good center fielder. But I just think it came so close, and I hope they're giving him direction when certain hitters are up, when Otani's up, and guys like that.
Oh, for sure.
You got to play back.
There's no question.
It's easier to come in than to go backwards.
You know, Bob, Oracle Park, and you've been at Oracle. I was just out there today doing a corporate BP, and I was in center field. It is a huge outfield when you're out there, and you're looking at how many. And I was talking to a couple of the clients, and I just said, just think you're out here and playing center field. Look how much room you have between right field and left field. There is a lot of room that Jung-Hoo Lee does cover. And you know, you may miss one or two, but most of the time he's on it. He made that beautiful catch on Otani going to left center field tonight, too. So I just think once or twice you may give him a little break, but sometimes I wonder how they also play the defense, Bob, and you're absolutely right. Sometimes you just say, hey, how come you're not playing this straight up? But the analytics and all their scouting reports are telling them this is majority where they hit. But good points tonight, Bob. I appreciate the call.
Okay.
Let's go to John in South San Francisco. John, you're on a late-night sports phone with Bill Laskey. Did you enjoy the game today?
Yes, I did, Bill. It's great when the Giants beat the Dodgers. It's so beautiful. It's the best day of my life ever.
That's why I had to. That's why I told Kyle, my producer. I said we got to open up a little beat LA in the first game of a weekend series. So we got to continue doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Bill, I actually thought the offense really, really hit pretty well today. Starting with Willie Adames hitting a home run off of Dustin May, and then how about Jung-Hoo Lee coming up with a triple off of Dustin May? And I could think Mr. Hernandez missed playing that play, by the way. That was pretty awesome. And I thought Lee was going to go for inside the park.
Did you think the same thing, John? Did you think Hernandez was going to catch it? Because so did I. I was watching him. He played more right center field, too, and he tried to take that gap away, and he almost caught it. But once it got by him,
I thought
Jung-Hoo Lee had a good game today. I mean, on the offensive side. Defensive side, a couple of misses, but I still think he's doing a fantastic job in the outfield. The one play with it got by the first baseman, Freeman leading the ball to Anthony Banda, and Bando didn't get to the bag in time. I thought that was just classic of him sprinting down the line, getting an RB off an infield base hit.
And I also want to bring up something about Tuesday about Patrick Bailey hitting a walk-off on Tuesday. I have never seen our Giants catcher hit a walk-off in the game against Philadelphia on Tuesday, and that was pretty awesome. I was watching it on Tuesday night. I was like, oh, please get out. Like, please. I thought
John, how about this stat? John, let me throw you this stat. 99 years ago that happened to a catcher winning a game on a walk-off home run. 99 years ago.
I never see that happen, Bill.
Never did. Yeah.
That was a fun one.
Well, one game down, John. What do you think of the next two? You think the Giants can sweep them? Do you think they can take 2 out of 3?
I say you got to sweep them. If you want to here's the thing. If you want to win a division, you have to sweep the Dodgers, and the second half comes when they play Toronto, if I'm saying correctly.
Yeah.
You've got to start winning games against Toronto, Atlanta, and then the Mets. I mean, right now the Mets and the Phillies are like neck and neck right now for the NL East.
Well, they got a tough schedule. You're absolutely right. When they come back, they go Toronto, they go to Atlanta, they come back for the Mets in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's been playing good. But I'll throw you this number, John: 26-19 with teams 500 or better. That's a pretty good record.
Exactly. I mean, I like what they're doing on offense, and pitching-wise is good. And the only thing I was not really happy was Tyler Rogers not getting the All-Star game. I feel like he is an All-Star pitcher.
It's sad because he's had such a He had a good first half, and he should be up there. 1.59 earned run average. All it is light contact off of him. And today he came in and put a 0 on the board in the 8th inning, and that's exactly what he's been doing.
You're absolutely right, Bill. And it reminds me, like, it was in 2009 when Panda got rejected in the All-Star game. I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
By who was it? Someone beat him in the voting. I don't remember that well.
The ballot. Yeah, I think it was the ballot that beat him. But, yeah, well, it's going to be a good all-star game. You're not going to have you probably won't have Logan Webb or Robbie Ray throw. I just don't see Logan doing it, even though pitching tonight, he still could, on 5 days rest. But last year he pitched 1 inning, didn't do real well. Robbie Ray's throwing Sunday, so he's not going to throw. You might see Randy Rodriguez in there. That would be pretty cool. But, boy, what can we say about Randy Rodriguez? Yeah, I think so,
he's
too.
been great, Bill.
Well, John, thanks for the call. I appreciate your call on a Friday. Let's go up to Portland, talk to my buddy Greg. Greg, you're on a late-night sports phone with Bill Laskey. How you doing up there?
Hey, Bill. We're happy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, good game.
Always,
that was a good baseball game, no question.
Good baseball game with the right result. And there was tension.
Always going to be tension. I think all Giants fans are used to that. It's not like, when they were winning 8-2, I was like, this game's going to be tighter than this. There was no question in my mind. This was not going to be a runaway. I didn't think it was at all. And I keep throwing that stat out. 34 comeback wins the Dodgers have had. The Giants have had 24. So you're talking 10 more games. And it's mostly offense, Greg. And you can see how that top 5, man, they mashed the ball. Ohtani and that one ball that cut her in, he mashed that ball into McCovey Cove. Some of those balls that were ripped, man, they didn't miss them. They were hitting full barrel of the bat. A couple of those balls that Jung-Hoo Lee caught in center field, the other one Ohtani hit, man, those balls were crushed. And there were some good pitches, but they're a good hitting team. They're the best in Major League Baseball.
They are. And that home run by Ohtani, I looked at that. I said that's in the Cove, and it was almost effortless. He just blew it out there. Also,
well,
I'm
pitchers
glad
know. You know this, Greg. Pitchers know, and Webb's head turned, and he just put his head down because you hear the sound of the bat, you see how it comes off of the bat, and you just know that hopefully it hits the wall and bounces. But there was no chance that it. When you're looking at Ohtani right now. 32 home runs. 32 home runs at the All-Star break. That's pretty impressive.
He's a specimen. Now, I want to Jung-Hoo Lee. He showed us tonight why he is so good. He had a triple, but I like his outfield play. He covers the ground. He's fast. And I know he got thrown out at the plate, but I
Boy, that was a tough play, wasn't it?
I still have confidence in always sending him, and he's smart about running. And that one that he didn't cover, I'm just saying, okay, you've had 3 good plays.
Off of Hernandez, the one that was hit to right center field.
Yeah,
that was a tough. I thought he may. Don't you think he might have been a step or 2 steps before the ball, where it kind of backed on him? It was kind of strange because I thought he had it, and then all of a sudden it was behind him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would talk to him. I say, tell me, but he's so damn good, and he played the other ones well. But Bill, I'm with you. I thought he was going to bring that one home, and he didn't. But what a
all the
great
ones he does. All the ones he does. He does very well.
Yeah. It's always good to beat the Dodgers as a Giants fan, and what a great game.
Hey, Greg, were you kind of surprised? Because I think a lot of Giants fans were surprised that this is the first time the Dodgers are coming to Oracle Park for the 2025 season. That's kind of strange.
Well, I follow
the
schedule. I agree with you.
Yeah. But they play a lot in September. You're going to see a lot of head-to-head in September. They go to L.A. and play them 4 times in L.A. in September.
It'll be fun. But this this is the downside of the schedule that we have now, where we play everybody. You don't play your
13
rivals.
Times. Yeah, 13
and,
times you're in out west. Used to be 19, Greg. Used to be 19.
Yeah, and Kruk and Kipe don't agree with me, but see, I prefer the old.
You'd rather
and you know
see 19?
Me, I'm road white.
19's too much. I think 19's too much. I do.
Yeah, I wish we played the Dodgers more. I don't care about playing in Kansas City. And
you don't like interleague, Greg? Interleague play?
I
you don't
can
like
live
it that
without
much?
it.
Yeah.
We'll
find out.
I
Good
prefer
weekend
the
coming
old.
up, Greg. We got 2 good games coming up. I got a good extra inning post-game shows. Got some great interviews coming up. I got Darryl Thomas, who played for the Giants as well as the Dodgers. And then I sat down with Jack Hyatt, and we brought up some stuff in the early 60s about the Giants and the Dodger rivalry. That's a real fun interview. And then I ended up talking to Dominic Smith today, and really, really good interview with Dominic Smith. And then I caught up with Mickey Hatcher. Mickey Hatcher was a big man in Dodger land, and 4 good interviews coming up this weekend on Extra Innings. Hope you enjoy them, Greg. All right, let's go to Mike. He's in Walnut Creek. Mike, you're on a Sportsphone KNBR post-game show. How are you doing?
Hey, Bill. I'm real good. I listen a lot, pretty much every night. First time calling, and the main reason is
great.
because
I'm glad you called in today. Glad you called.
Yeah. I just really thought tonight, even like going into it tonight and this series in general, was like insanely important for a lot of reasons for both teams. The Dodgers want to end their losing streak and also end the Giants' enthusiasm after making a big trade for Devers. And tonight's lineup, like you saw it from both sides, we really threw our best out there with Logan Webb. And Dominic Smith at first base, and Wilmer ready to go off the bench. I think you saw the best of both teams tonight, and I've seen a lot of people saying Logan Webb didn't have a good outing, and I don't really think that's accurate. I think you shut them down,
great.
And you played
the 6th inning. I just think the 6th inning, Mike, is when he had some trouble, and I really think it started by hitting Mookie Betts on an 0-2 pitch. I think it really rattled them a little bit. I did.
Exactly. There was that threw off his rhythm, and then also having a big inning when he's on the bench. Like, he never has that. Like, it's simple, but that definitely throws off your rhythm.
It's
and
true,
when your rhythm's thrown off against the best team in the league, like, that results in 4 runs.
10 batters come up in that inning, Mike. He's never had that in the whole year. 10 batters come up in one inning. Even giving him 5 runs was like he was probably saying, "You give me 5 runs? What's going on?"
Yeah. So I think his rhythm got thrown off. It wasn't a bad outing, and when your rhythm gets thrown off, that results in 4 runs real quick. And so I think I think both teams really threw out their best. Like, the Giants threw out their best pitcher and played good defense, and the Dodgers hit how the Dodgers are built to hit. And I think this is a really big deal going into the All-Star break with how the gap has closed and how enthusiastic the Giants are, because the Giants showed tonight that their style of ball can compete with.
Well, tomorrow, Mike, let me ask you this one, Mike. What do you Ohtani's pitching tomorrow, Mike, and he's not going to throw but 2 or 3 innings at that. They're going right back into bullpen today. They used 4 bullpen arms, all 3 of them for an inning, 1 for an inning or a third. They're going to have to go right back to that bullpen tomorrow for Ohtani. It's going to be interesting to see how many arms they're going to have for Sunday, because Yamamoto's pitching. And Robbie Ray's pitching. So this is what's going to happen. I mean, hopefully they wear out this bullpen. Hopefully the Giants can catch them tomorrow, especially if they don't have enough arms.
That's exactly what I've been thinking, and I think it's even bigger than that. Like, it's the clash of, like, how the 2 teams are built. And if you think about a playoff, like, in a playoff series, it can very well end up like that too. And when you're built to have shut down pitching and good defense instead of built around a hitting team, like, that's where you can see the advantage play out. So I'm really interested to see how these next 2 games go. I think the
And Mike,
Giants.
you make a great point here, Mike. You do make a good point. Look what Bob Melvin and J.P. Martinez did. They kind of put Hayden Birdsong, no, you're supposed to be pitching. They had the day off, so they moved Landon Roop on his 5 days, Robbie Ray on his 5 days. So you're really getting the 3 top starters the Giants have right now. And I think that plays into this series so well for the Giants because this is, if you go to a 3-game series, this is our best, and this is what we're throwing at you. With Webb throwing tonight, beautiful. Even though he gave up a couple runs, he still got you in past 5 innings. Now, Roop tomorrow, been throwing the ball well. He was embarrassed when he went to L.A. and only lasted, an inning and a third or something down there. He's got a little vengeance coming after him tomorrow. But, Mike, man, great stuff. Good insight. Call in more. You got a good baseball mind, and I appreciate your time tonight. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break on Sportsphone KNBR. Got a few more callers on hold. Going to also bring in Ben Ross. Of course, he is on KRON, Channel 4 Sports. We'll get a little insight on him. So we'll take a quick break. Come back with more right here on the Sports Leader.
This is Sportsphone KNBR. Dial the digits or send us a text at 415-808-KNBR. We're streaming on YouTube all damn day at KNBR 1045.
1-1 the count. 0-0 the score. There's a swing. He drives one out toward Triple's alley. Deep, way out there, still going, and it's gone! A home run into the Dodger bullpen. And Adames has given the Giants a 1-0 lead.
Man, that was electric, man. That ninth inning, I was like, man, this feels like playoffs. Just the energy itself, it was like so intense. But I love that. I love playing on those games, and it really didn't disappoint. The energy was there, and the fans showed up, and I love that. So, especially with the win at the end, that's the most important thing.
Back on Sportsphone KNBR with Bill Laskey. Willie Adames excited today. He was the player of the game for NBC Bay Area, talking about how this was and the pressure toward the end of the game, and he loves to play in these pressure games. And then he said, hey, I'm a little surprised there's so many Dodger fans here at Oracle. We want to see more orange and black, and I'm right there with him. Too much blue in those stands, too much. But again, the Giants shut them down today as they win 8-7. They've now won 7 out of 9 games. They've won the last 2 series. One more game, they win this series. A great push right here for Bob Melvin and the Giants to get to the All-Star break. Winning this last series, sweeping the Dodgers would be great. That's going to be a tough next 2 games. But you know what? This Giants can do it. They can do it. We know that. All right, let's get back to the phone lines, and I'm going to talk to my buddy Ben Ross in a couple minutes. Let's go to Andy. He's in Redwood City. Andy, good game tonight. Giants need that first win. Now they're getting one more to take the series. What'd you think?
Well, it was quite a game. It was much closer than I thought it could have been. You were talking about Jung-Ho Lee quite a bit already with the Teoscar Hernandez ball that was hit to him. I know playing center field, when you get a ball directly hit over your head, it's really difficult to track it down and to get to it. But I could see on the replays that it did hit off his glove and it popped out. And if he had made that catch, that might have changed the momentum around, and the Dodgers wouldn't have gotten as many runs as they did.
In that 6th inning. Yeah, that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
The other ball that was hit, the ball that was hit to, Andy, the ball that Will Smith was hit, that was a double, they were playing him more in the right center field because it looked at first it was just like a base hit, but they were playing him to go to right field more, and that's why I was a little surprised he got a double on that. And then Hernandez's ball just off his glove, I thought, and I watched replay, I've been talking about it tonight also, I thought he kind of ran over the ball. He went kind of behind him to catch it. Tough ball, no doubt, but he's been playing so stellar in the outfield. I keep talking about that ball Ohtani hit the left center field that he ran down. He's a rabbit out there. He's done very well.
Okay. So what do you think about Lou Trevino? I think he came in there after Dustin May, the starter. I thought he did a nice job. And I was always surprised that the Giants got rid of him in the first place. Your screener told me he was DFA'd, and I was surprised that they didn't even make a trade or didn't even get anybody for him.
Nobody wanted him. That was a big thing, though. Once you get through those 3 days and nobody's asking for you or trying to get traded, you can become a free agent. You can go back to AAA. He became a free agent. Dodgers picked him up. He went to AAA. He's got really good stuff when he's on. He's got some dynamite secondary pitches. He only threw 1 inning, threw 15 pitches, 10 for strikes, walked out of it with 1 hit. A veteran pitcher, I think that's why the Dodgers picked him up. When you start seeing veteran pitchers and you can go back to AAA and kind of look at what you have and what you can fix, Dodgers do it a lot. Giants do it a lot. A lot of teams will look at them and say, hey, let's give him a shot. He's in his bullpen. This bullpen the Dodgers have been up and down all year. They've had so many open door closes. I mean, Farhan's over there with the Dodgers, and there's no question they're using everybody they can out of that bullpen. It hasn't been good. Tonight they shut him down, but we'll find out tomorrow. And that's my question, Andy. With Shohei Ohtani throwing tomorrow, they're going to have to use a lot of pitchers if he only goes like 2 innings.
Dave Roberts always uses a lot of pitchers. But I kind of really liked Lou Trevino because he played for one of those Penn State colleges, which I went to one of those as well. He was from Slippery Rock, and we used to play them in baseball. So I was at my. It's nice to see.
Did you go
somebody
to the
do
game
well
tonight at
from
all,
that
Andy?
league.
Did you go to the game or just watch it at home?
I actually caught it at the gym I work out at, where
I
just kept on watching at the TV. So
yeah, because what you're talking about with the outfield play, we were talking about that earlier tonight about how the Giants shift so many players, and they put Yastrzemski sometimes in right center field to cut down Triple's alley, and they do that all through analytics and scouting, and usually you don't really see much of that unless they show a panned look from a camera up top. And they shift a lot, and that's one thing I will say, just like what you're talking about. Jung-Hoo Lee gets good jumps, and any center fielder, that first step is so important.
Right. I love having Yastrzemski out there because he really knows how to play that wall. He does that well. And what was it, the other day when Bailey hit that ball off the fence and it took a roll that went right by the Philly center fielder.
Marsh, center field. It hit the top of the wall. It didn't hit the brick, and it kind of hit high, and then it rolled. That was such an exciting game. I was doing Sportsphone that night. The phone calls lasted for an hour and a half. Everybody was. That's the best moment in baseball. There's only been 3 inside the Parkers at Oracle. Angel Pagan being one, Patrick Bailey the other, but it was in the All-Star game with Ichiro Suzuki. He hit one, and it was funny because a buddy of mine told me there's 3 of them. Bill, there's only 2, and I'm like, what is the other one? And then he reminded the All-Star game, and he was 100% right.
Well, I thought they really took advantage of Brandon Marsh on that. I thought he was so surprised at the way that ball it was like a pinball machine. The way it went right by him.
That was a fun game. Did you get to watch it live, or were you watching a game when that happened?
Yeah, it was live.
Yeah. Because a lot of people didn't see it, and then they watched it the next day, and then they were commenting. But the phone calls from so many people were at the game coming in that night. It was fun listening to them, and the excitement was unbelievable. Just like tonight. Hey, first game against the Dodgers, you win it on a Friday night, on an Orange Friday, and you go home with a winner, and you got 2 more day games before the All-Star break. But, Andy, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate you holding on. Let's go to Andrea real quick out of Berkeley. Andrea, we got to make a quick call because I got to get Ben Ross in. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, great. Yes, I'll make it quick. Happy Fun Friday, Freaky Friday. That was quite a game.
Yeah, they held on. And I think a lot of people and fans were wondering how Duvall was going to do in the 9th inning. He did all right. He got in a little trouble. The 0-2 pitch to Mookie Betts, I'm still screaming at him for throwing too many 0-2 strikes. I would have loved to see him go out of the zone a little bit. Maybe he could have chased. He gives up a base hit. He gives a walk up to Freeman on 4 straight pitches. I think everybody was a little tense at that time.
Yeah, a little Giants torture for a change, but as long as we got the win, and nice to see fellow Virgo Willie Adames back on track. September 3rd, 1995, having his Saturn return at age 29 of career success and new beginnings, and he's really hard on himself. So it's really great when
he's having fun. I think that's what everybody's enjoying. And Kipe, Kruk, and Fleming, and Miller, all of them say, he hasn't changed a bit. His personality's been the same when he's up and down. And I think that's the character of a good player, a character of a veteran player, a character of a guy that just wants to play baseball and win. And I'm real happy to see Willie Adames get hot. The calls in the beginning of the year were tough, and he was struggling. We knew that. Same thing with Patrick Bailey. He finally got off 190 batting average. He's hitting 200 now. So things are moving up, Andrea, and I think you and I have talked a lot over the weekends, and the negatives are starting to turn. The Giants are winning. They won 7 out of 9, and I think that's a good start.
Yeah, no, that was a wild full moon with Patrick Bailey. I don't think Giants fans will ever forget that feat. That was amazing.
That was unbelievable.
And and Willie Adames home run and a triple. Good for him. That was great.
Good one. Andre, I'm on over the weekend. Give me a shout over the weekend. I got to get Ben Ross on here and finish up the show, but thanks for holding on. I'll talk to you later. All right, coming up next, my good friend from Cron 4 Sports. We're going to talk to Ben Ross, get his thoughts on the first game of a 3-game series against the Dodgers. We'll be right back on the Sports Leader.
Sound off on the sports leader. Sportsphone KNBR keeps rolling right here and on the all-new KNBR app.
Here it is. Swing. There's a shot. Right center field. Deep. On the run. The center field back, and he can't get to it. It rolls to the wall. One run is in. Racing around third. Chapman. He's heading home, and he'll score standing up and sliding into third with a triple is Willie Adames. Another shot into the gap in right center field, and 2 more runs batted in for a guy who's been an RBI machine in the last week. That's a big one. It's the only fastball that he saw. It was a high fastball, and he clobbered it out toward the deep part of the yard, and the center fielder Pajes could not catch up to it.
All right, back on Sportsphone Friday night with Bill Laskey. Giants win 8-7. They've played 38 one-run games this year, 22-16. A very good one-run deficit there, and they've been winning. So we'll talk more about it. Let's bring in my buddy from Cron 4 Sports, Ben Ross. Ben, how are you this evening?
Hey, doing well, Bill. How are you?
Good. I mean, a win is always a good post-game show. It's the losses that you got to stay away from. But tonight was a normal Dodger game. Yeah, two teams going head-to-head. And, you know, did you feel that when they had the lead 8-2, it was going to stay that way?
You know, when you're right. I mean, when you're facing this Dodgers lineup, even when they're struggling the way they are right now, I think there's a part of you that knows it's not over. And certainly the Dodgers didn't waste any time answering back and making it interesting. But credit to the Giants bullpen for hanging on. I mean, again, you know, even with the Dodgers on that 7-game losing streak, you look at that lineup and it is scary. So any win over that team is a good one, especially when you can now get a little bit closer in the division.
7-game losing streak. They lose 3 to Houston. They go to Milwaukee. Milwaukee takes 3. They lose the last game in 10 innings. They come in with a day off. And, Ben, they throw Dustin May, who was really throwing real well for him, and the Giants picked away. But the walks really got it started when you look in that 4th inning. 2 walks to lead off the inning with Devers and Chapman. And I thought right then and there, here's a free rally, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah, how nice is that to see, right, for the Giants to take advantage and cash in some of those free bases. I mean, I think that's something we've talked about when they're struggling is, you know, the inability to hit with runners on and with runners in scoring position. And tonight, yeah, they absolutely made Dustin May pay for those. And, you know, I was just impressed with the at-bats throughout. I mean, look, we talked about how this offense had to get going, and they certainly have these last several games. And, you know, it's the guys that were slumping or starting to heat back up again. Willie Adames and Jung-Hoo Lee right in the middle of it tonight. And, you know, if those guys, you know, when those guys are going well, I think we've seen that this Giants lineup is completely different than the anemic offense we saw when they were struggling.
Well, the health for Matt Chapman, I think, was huge when you put him back at third base. The defensive turn in that last double play ball was so perfect. And you get Schmidt playing second base, so you have a better at-bat in the lineup. He struggled a little bit today, 0 for 3. The guy that I really want to talk about is Elliot Ramos. So all of a sudden, the month of July, he's only 7 for 38 with a .185 batting average. Right now, it seems like all day today, didn't it seem, Ben, like everything he wanted to hit to right field? It was just strange. I really thought everything he was trying to push inside out, outside pitch.
Yeah.
And he gets, you know, 2 fly balls to right field, 2 punch-outs. And I didn't think his at-bats were that clean today.
Yeah, you know, that's interesting, too, because, I mean, I feel like sometimes when guys are struggling at the plate, they sort of go back to that mindset of, you know, seeing the ball a little deeper into the zone and trying to go the other way with it. And maybe there was something there with Ramos. I mean, he's a guy that I'm really not too worried about. I think that, you know, you watch his at-bats throughout the year. He sees the ball so well, and he's a confident guy, too. I mean, I think with him, this is just one of those this is one of those things you can chalk up to baseball being such a long season that's going to have these types of ups and downs. And yeah, and obviously, you know, you got the All-Star break coming right now, and maybe that'll give him a chance to reset. But I mean, again, the good news is you've got other guys in the lineup going now, and I think, you know, that's the beauty of baseball is that you're probably not going to have everybody swinging the bat well at the same time, but if you can, you know, if you can pick up a Ramos with other spots in the lineup the way they did tonight, just the way that, you know, he carried their offense for a lot of the year, that's what it's all about. You know, do you have the depth to be able to have guys deeper in the lineup doing some damage? And, you know, again, the Giants this month have looked a whole lot better.
They sure have. And that game on Tuesday when Patrick Bailey hit the inside the park ball, home run, I was doing that game and I was looking at the stats, and I just pulled it up right here. When we look at the top 4 hitters in that game, they were 1 for 14, and that was Ramos, Devers, Adames, and Chapman. They were 1 for 14. 5 through 9 were 8 for 19. And, of course, when you're looking at that, and you just said it, the bottom of the order is getting stronger, and that's one of the biggest holes they had, you know, a month ago.
Yeah, and, I think that's a great point. I mean, especially for a team that has struggled to produce runs for parts of this year, you got to rely on everybody. And, I mean, I think it's encouraging that during this stretch where I think they've won 7 of the last 9. I mean, it's not like Rafael Devers has been tearing the cover off the ball. I still think that at some point he's going to go on a real hot streak and hit a bunch of home runs over the course of a few games. But yeah, you look down in the lineup, and again, it's guys like Jung-Hoo Lee starting to swing the bat better.
Nice.
Dom Smith,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Dom Smith with a great opposite field home run tonight. You mentioned Patrick Bailey. I mean, you're not necessarily expecting him to do a ton at the plate. He brings most of his value defensively, but he's even swinging the bat better recently. Not just that inside the park home run, but another multi-hit game tonight. And you know, if you can just get competitive at bats from him, that definitely changes things.
Ben Ross joining me on Sportsphone KNBR. Of course, you can find him on Cron 4 Sports. Does a great job over there with Scott Reese, and you guys have been doing a great job together, and I just want to commend both of you. Of course, Scott's been a longtime friend of mine, and you've been great. I mean, Ben, you've been doing some good stuff over there. And, you know, when you watch this Giants team, as much as they've been up and down, just recently, when you're looking at 7 out of 9 games they've won, and you see them, they beat the last 2 games in Arizona, I really think that kicked in. And I think from there on, it started believing a little bit more and independently with each other. And like I said, the health of the team got better. The pitching has still been so solid out of the bullpen, and tonight they did it again.
Yeah, you're exactly right. First of all, I want to thank you for those for the nice comments. And Scott Reese, great to work with, and he certainly he says hello as well. But yeah, I mean, I think we saw it drawn up tonight. I mean, you know, as a Giants fan, obviously you don't like blowing the 8-2 lead and making it close. But when you see Randy Rodriguez come in, followed by Tyler Rogers and Camilo Doval, and you know, I've criticized Doval a bit and suggested maybe it's time to make a change at closer. But you know, he's been getting the job done recently. It's not always pretty. He can get your blood pressure up a little bit the way he did tonight, but he still has great stuff. And you know, the bullpen overall this year, you can't really complain. And so, Bill, you know what's so funny is, like, I feel like the last time I was on was in the midst of that awful stretch the Giants were having, and we were kind of talking about just got to get to the All-Star break, just limp to the All-Star break and reset. Now all of a sudden, they don't want the All-Star break. They got the momentum going now. They want to keep playing some games.
And they're 10 over 500. They're 52-42. And I think you and I were saying, are they going to be 500 at the All-Star break? Because the way they're playing right now, it was so inconsistent. And then, you know, the 2 games, I keep talking about those last 2 games in Arizona, and then they get blown out in Sacramento on Friday, and you're like, oh, my goodness, you know, they gave up 11 runs to the Athletics. But again, they chipped away. They chipped away there and won Saturday and Sunday. They won those first 2 games against Philly. That was a big push for the Giants against the Philadelphia Phillies, and they win 4 out of the 7 games, and I think that's the clutch number when you're playing teams in first and second place.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, the Giants have really done a nice job against the winning teams this year. Again, their rough stretch most recently came against some bottom dwellers, you know, the White Sox and the Marlins. But you're right, they played the Phillies well. I think, you know, they're now even against the Dodgers. They can play with these teams, and again, I think a lot of that is their pitching has kept them in all of these games. And you know, if they're in a game late, you look at their record in 1-run games and how good their bullpen has been. I mean, a lot of the time I feel like people chalk up the 1-run games, you know, your record in a 1-run game, to luck. But I think it has a lot more to do with the bullpen. And I think, you know, the Giants have a great bullpen.
And, you know, the other thing, too, Ben, earlier in the year, they always scored in the 6th, 7th, 8th innings. I mean, they had those last inning rallies where they got ahead, and all of a sudden it dried up, and you're like, where's this rally? And like today, after the 5th inning, there was nothing there. They couldn't get even a runner on second base. Those are the stretches that I worry about. Those are the stretches where I'm like, okay, how are they going to get another run? Then you're starting to think, what if the Dodgers tie this game up? How are they going to get a run? They haven't done anything since the 5th inning. So, the ands, ifs, and ors you wonder about as the game goes on.
No, you are right about that, but it is fascinating. For as much as the Giants' offense has struggled this year, you're right. I mean, they've had a lot of comebacks, right? I mean, big comebacks, too, in the late innings, and sometimes that's when their best at-bats have been. You're right. I think tonight it was kind of the opposite, but at the same time, I feel like you see that sometimes from lots of teams when when you jump out to a big lead, it's just almost human nature. For some reason, the offense can dry up a little bit. And but I mean, again, they're a fascinating team because we've talked about how their offense can go through these droughts, and yet sometimes when out of nowhere they'll have a huge rally the way they did against Philly with the walk-off inside the park home run from Bailey. I mean, I think they still lead the league in walk-offs, so they do seem to come through when you're not expecting it from time to time.
Ben, when you looked at the rotation, they kind of put Hayden Birdsong, no, you're not going to throw after he threw the Athletic game. And I liked it. I liked what they did because they had that off day yesterday, and they pushed Roop up in his 5th day, and Robbie Ray's throwing Sunday. I think Bob Melvin and the coaching staff, as well as Buster Posey, said, here's our 3 best starting pitchers. This is what we can do, and nobody's pushed it. Nobody's gone a day early, and it's really worked out. And I'm really anxious to see how this thing finishes the next couple nights.
It's going to be fascinating, I think, to watch Landon Roop. I mean, he's had such a good first half, and now this will obviously be a great test for him going against this Dodgers lineup. But I can't remember who it was that I saw tweet the other day. I mean, look, at this point, if the Giants find themselves in the postseason, in a series perhaps, I mean, you know who your top 2 starters are. But I think at this point it's pretty clear Landon Roop is your number 3 guy, right? I mean, he has earned that. And I think you're right. Melvin is throwing his 3 best arms this weekend against the Dodgers, and it's lined up nicely.
And if you remember, Ben, his last outing in L.A., he only lasted an inning and a third, and he was very upset about that. So this is a return bout that he's going to go out there and fight a little harder tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, and it's an opportunity for him to, hopefully put that one behind him. And again, when you go against this Dodgers lineup, you're not asking him to go out there and be perfect and give up no runs or 1 run. I mean, if he can go out there and give you 5 or 6 good innings of 3-run ball and just, again, get it into the late innings close and give your bullpen a chance.
Well, it's going to be a fun 2 afternoon games. Landon Roop against Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto against Ray, and they finish off to the All-Star break. But, Ben, thanks so much for joining me on a late night Friday. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, always love coming on, Bill. Appreciate it. Good to come on after a win.
That was Ben Ross. You can see him on Cron 4 Sports. Does a great job over there. All right, we're going to close up the Friday show. Giants win the first game of a 3-game series, 8-7 at Oracle Park. They held on after it was 8-2, and the Dodgers fought back, but the Giants held off. Camilo Duvall gets his 15th save. Logan Webb gets his 9th win. He's 9-6. Tomorrow they're going to do it all over again. 1:05 first pitch. Shohei Ohtani is going to be on the hill for the Dodgers against Landon Roop. And then on Sunday, Yamamoto against Ray. So both games, 1:05. Extra inning post-game show will follow both of those. I'll be following up. Got some great interviews. Darryl Thomas and Jack Hyatt tomorrow. And then on Sunday, Dominic Smith and Mickey Hapter. I want to thank my producer, Kyle Harr, for doing the show. Great job. Thank Ben Ross for coming on. And thank you, Giants fans, for calling in. We're going to do it again tomorrow. For Bill Laskey, be safe, be well. More coming up right here on KNBR, the Sports Leader.